I know there's a lot of outside noise and opinion about University of Florida right now, about Billy Napier right now. And it's because they haven't won a ton of football games in the first 2 years he's been there. Now, you know, as well as I do, what a bottom line business this ultimately is at the end of the day. You also know, unless you're very new to our program, that I am someone who detests the phrase, you are what your record says you are, in college athletics, specifically college football, because it hardly ever tells the whole story. There are some 7-win teams any given year that are really solid. There are some fraudulent 9-win teams. And so it takes context, is all I'm saying. So that brings me to Gainesville today. So the outside perception is, man, I don't know. I don't know if Billy Napier's cut out to be the guy who brings Florida back. You know, it's been like a generation now, if you define a generation as a decade, since some of you have seen Florida Gator football national elite standard, which is crazy because if you're like 45 years old watching the show, it feels like yesterday that Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow, Spikes, those guys were doing what they did in the late 2000s. But put yourself in the shoes of a 17-year-old kid. You couldn't walk and talk at the time that was happening. You were barely alive. It happens fast, guys. It happens really fast. So there's some people out there openly questioning whether Billy Napier and his staff are the guys to get the job done. It's why we wanted to take this trip, because while I may not change your mind, or he may not change your mind on anything tonight, I wanted you to hear from him. And so we'll talk to him in just a second. I want to tell you what I think about it. So we go all over the country. We talk to the best of the best. We tour the best of the best. I see virtually every major program, or at least make an effort to every year. You noticed some consistent themes with the ones who have their act together and are winning, and you notice some consistent themes with the ones that are losing. All I can tell you is this. The results here, last year and year before, are completely and utterly detached from what it's like here in the building, what it's like inside the program. Now, that could simply mean that Billy Napier's done what he needs to do, and the results will be downstream of that. I happen to buy into the philosophy that your results are downstream of your decisions in football and in life. I don't think a lot of you believe that. So it's not my job to change your mind. It is kind of my job to tell you what I think. There is an army here, and many of them have worked at other places too, where they do it the way it's supposed to be done. Can't put it to you any other way. Doesn't guarantee wins in the fall. I'm not telling you it will. What I'm telling you is the characteristics and the hallmarks that you see when you go to other major programs that are getting the job done on Saturdays are present here. The resources are present, which is the other thing we're about to hear about from Napier himself, because they weren't present. A short while ago, they weren't present. In other words, I would have come down here 3 or 4 years ago and told you, you know, honestly, there are some reasons tangibly when you look around here why they may not be matching the Bamas of the world or the Georgias of the world or even A&M, who is very well resourced in their own right. That doesn't exist anymore. And it's a testament to the administration here, because they got banged on for a long time. It's a testament to the administration here that they realized, hey, our fastball doesn't meet the fastball of other teams in this conference. And this Gator logo on our chest, if we don't back it up here, it doesn't really mean anything other than, wow, that's just a nice polo I paid $59.95 for. They've gotten up to speed on a lot of the areas they needed to get up to speed on. In some cases, to be very generic about it, they are leading the pack. There are things we saw today that I haven't seen anywhere else. There are practices in place I haven't seen anywhere else. And so if you're a Florida fan and you just kind of wonder, if you cut the program open, what's the DNA? Like what oozes out of the program? It's winning culture. It's winning culture. They just haven't won on the field yet. I happen to be a believer that that is downstream of creating that culture. The other thing to keep in mind, as we are about to talk to Billy Napier, is he put it very well today. You know, he said, I don't really feel like we're so much in a construction phase anymore. We've kind of got it where we want it now, which is a 3-year runway, which used to be standard. In fact, coaches used to get 4 and 5 years. That's a bygone notion, because when you pay guys a lot of money, you're supposed to be able to just pop a program in a microwave and pop out a winner. And I get it. And I have no problem with Florida fans having very, very high expectations, as long as you give. What's the age-old adage on this show? As long as you give at an elite level, you should expect elite return on your investment. Got no problem with that. I think that Florida is on the precipice of being able to deliver that. That's my feel. The depth here, the quality of player here, the quality of athlete, the recruiting mechanism that's in place here, I think is light years better than what it was when Napier and his staff got here, and candidly, what it was before he got here. So we'll see, because ultimately football games will be played this fall, and they'll get 12 shots just like everyone else. And if they're 500, you won't care. And if they're 9-3, people will say, how in the world did that happen? Well, in the latter category, I'm just telling you, the things that have to be done for them to surprise you this fall are being done right now. It's not propaganda. I don't get a dime to say that. I'm telling you that's what I believe, based on the observations that we made today.